Williams also worked for NPR or National Public Radio from 2000 to 2010, serving as the station's senior national correspondent and analysis.
On October 18, 2010, NPR radio host and Fox News commentator Juan Williams appeared on The O'Reilly Factor. This appearance would mark a turning point in Williams' career and put NPR in a serious predicament.
Juan Williams. So Juan, I got to tell everybody, I got to own up to this, that that Talking Points memo is really written by Alan Colmes. So where am I going wrong there, Juan?
Well, actually, I hate to say this to you because I don't want to get your ego going, but I think you're right. I think, look, political correctness can lead to some kind of paralysis where you don't address reality. I mean, look, Bill, I'm not a bigot. You know the kind of books I've written about the civil rights movement in this country. But when I get on a plane, I got to tell you, if I see people who are in Muslim garb, and I think, you know, they're identifying themselves first and foremost as Muslims, I get worried. I get nervous. Now, I remember also that when that Times Square bomber was at court, I think this is just last week, he said the war with Muslims, America's war with Muslims, is just beginning, first drop of blood. I don't think there's any way to get away from these facts, but I think there are people who want to somehow remind us all, as President Bush did after 9/11, it's not a war against Islam. President Bush went to a mosque.
Well, there isn't any theology involved in this at all from my perspective, Juan, but you live in the liberal precincts. Yeah, you actually work for NPR, okay?
Yes.
Just 2 days after Williams' statements on the show, NPR terminated his contract on the grounds that his statement was inconsistent with their editorial standards and practices. Well, what exactly are NPR standards and practices? According to NPR's ethics code, their employees must be unbiased, meaning that they separate their personal opinions, such as an individual's religious beliefs or political ideology, from the subject they are covering. They do not approach any coverage with overt or hidden agendas. NPR's code of ethics isn't the only code Williams violated. The Society of Professional Journalism has been around since 1909, stating that their purpose is improving and protecting journalism. The SPJ Code of Ethics is voluntarily embraced by thousands of journalists, regardless of place or platform. The codes ask that journalists avoid stereotyping by race, gender, age, religion, ethnicity, geography, sexual orientation, disability, physical appearance, or social status. Williams violates the code of ethics with the statement released on The O'Reilly Factor. Williams' statements resulted in his dismissal from NPR.
Another issue conjured up by the Juan Williams case is, should journalists who work for organizations striving to maintain impartiality be allowed to appear on shows with a known political slant? NPR, as a news organization, strives to maintain impartiality throughout its delivery of the news, but many conservatives argue the station is slightly biased towards the left wing because many of the journalists NPR employs, such as Juan Williams, have ties to the Democratic Party. The O'Reilly Factor is a show on Fox News that many claim to be very biased towards the right wing. The Fox News slogan is fair and balanced, but the equality of representation on Fox News comes into question when shows such as The O'Reilly Factor have a host who is very biased towards the right wing. To avoid situations where a journalist's impartiality can be compromised, NPR should have not allowed Williams to participate on The O'Reilly Factor. As in the NPR Code of Ethics, it states, journalists working for NPR solely have their allegiance to NPR. A third issue raised by the Juan Williams case is it ever right for a journalist to publicly voice or show support for his or her own opinion?
Network television host Keith Olbermann's liberal voice is off the air indefinitely. MSNBC has suspended him without pay for making political contributions.
MSNBC found out that Keith Olbermann had given donations to 3 Democratic candidates for the political year when they were approached by a news organization. They hadn't been told about it, and that's against NBC policy for a person who works for the news division to do that.
Good evening from New York. This is
Olbermann's Countdown Show is MSNBC's most popular program. He's also the network's highest-rated personality. Olbermann started out as a host of a straight news program, but quickly transformed into a liberal commentator. That move led the network to go in the same direction, boosting ratings to its highest level since its 1996 launch.
So if the linchpin, the most popular person of that strategy, goes down in flames, well, what happens to MSNBC?
Olbermann was a co-anchor of MSNBC's election coverage this past week. So far, no comment on his suspension. Ross Simpson, The Associated Press.